Hey, hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the video today. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about, is college still relevant? Is college still worth getting into? Is it still worth it to go to college, to pay tuition, to get a degree? Does it have the same value that it once did? That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. So let's get started. So for me, I went to college. I went to community college. I actually never graduated college. I just took classes that I was interested in. I never really chose a degree in mind of I'm going to get a job in this field. Never did that. When I first started college, I chose communications because I thought that, okay, I like to talk, so communications. But then I changed it into theater because I was in theater. I took acting classes. I took improvisation classes. Why? Because I found them fun. I found it interesting. It was what I liked to do. And I had a lot of fun experiences in college, doing college theater productions. And but yeah, I stopped going to college a while ago, and I just focused on making money, working jobs. So the question of should you go to college is really dependent on the context of what you yourself want to get into. If you want to become a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, then yeah, you should go to college because you're going to need that degree or certification to get into the field that you want to go into. But then there's people like me that didn't want to go into any of those fields. Now, is college necessary? Now, is college going to help you? It seems like in the last 5 years that is proven to be not the case. It's proving that college is not as valuable as it once was because you got a whole bunch of people graduating from college with degrees that can't even get jobs that they trained for. The world is changing so fast today with technology, AI, automations, that jobs that people are studying for are not going to exist. So what do we do then? Well, the sensible thing to do would be to adapt and go into something in which there is a need for, a demand for. Don't get a degree in English literature and expect to get a job right out of college, because it's not going to happen. Same thing with me. I didn't finish college with a theater major because I didn't see the point. I didn't see how a theater degree is going to help me get a job. It's not. So for me, it didn't make sense to finish college. I feel like today, it's not college degrees that gives you opportunity like it once did in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and even the 2010s. A college degree was valuable. Places only hired if you had a college degree. College degree was like, if you didn't go to college, you didn't get a degree, you were essentially seen as a failure. But that is starting to change now, because now it's all about what can you produce, what can you provide, what problems can you solve. Not necessarily what degree do you have. Companies are not even looking at degrees anymore. They're looking at experience, real world experience of you doing whatever the job requires. So it's my opinion that, unless you want to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever those things, if you don't want to do that, you're better off just doing things in the real world, seeing what problems you can solve, what markets there's a demand for, what problems you can solve in certain markets, and get experience doing something. Like if you go to college for 4 years, for example, it's like you're paying them first and foremost, so it's money out of your pocket, and you're being educated, but you're not really getting real world experience. Now ask yourself this: why is college even a thing? What is the purpose of college? The purpose of college is to equip the individual with knowledge so that they could then go and work for a company and make money to sustain themselves. So at the end of the day, it's for employment. Purpose of college is for employment. The purpose of employment is for you to have money. The purpose of having money is so you can survive. Okay, so essentially it all comes down to survival. Having money so you can cover your basic necessities. A roof over your head, food, and enough extra over to enjoy your life somewhat. So if that's the end goal of college, then wouldn't it make more sense to, okay, let's just go straight to the process of how do we make money? How do we solve problems? How do we generate money? Because it all comes down to survival. So you might as well learn the skill of, of business, essentially. Learning how to craft offers, learning how to solve people's problems, learning how to charge, learning to fulfill the service, and, essentially get real world experience. Nothing beats real world experience for your self-education. I think there's a quote that says, "Don't let a college degree stop you from being educated," which basically means don't let the degree stop you from looking at the world or continuously learning throughout your life. Like a lot of people think when they're done with school, that's it. Their learning's done. They just have to perform tasks on a routine basis and they're fine. No, especially in today's world, things are changing so quickly that if you are not adaptable, if you are not changing, if you are not looking into other opportunities continuously, then you're going to get left behind. Technology is going to advance so fast, jobs that exist today will not exist 5 years from now. And then jobs that exist 5 years from now won't exist 10 years from now. So for you to keep up with the times and not be essentially waste your time. Because if you think about it, some people go to school for 4 years to get a degree, to only get a degree in something which is going to be outdated by the time they get their degree. So that whole time was for what? It was a waste of time, because the school system is a concretized, stiff body of knowledge, while the real world is constantly adapting, shifting. So you have to adapt quickly, you have to learn quickly, you have to make changes fast. Otherwise, you're not going to keep up with the changes. You're not going to stay afloat. So, is college necessary? No, I don't think so. I mean, who the hell am I? But that's just my opinion. I don't think college is necessary. I think what is necessary is to educate yourself, self-education, real world education, real world sales, business, identifying problems, getting hands-on experience with dealing with providing products and services, not just learning about it, not just studying business in school, but doing business in life. So that's just my opinion, for most people, because for myself, I always kind of felt unsure of what to do with my life. In high school, going to college, I had no idea. In my mid-20s, I was like still unsure, but I was just working, just doing jobs. But now I'm a little bit older, 29, and now I see, okay, the end of the day, the bottom line is you have to make enough money to live. So let me see where I can solve problems for people and create a business of some sort. Let me learn how to get customers. Let me learn how to take payment. Let me learn how to grow this, scale this, and You know, those are very, very valuable skills. Super valuable skills. More valuable than anything you're going to learn in college is how to present a solution to a problem that people have in a compelling offer, and doing that enough times to build a client base so that you can sustain yourself financially. That's valuable. That's very valuable. So, and the things that you learn in that surpass anything you learn in class. You learn psychology, you learn persuasion, you learn persistence, you learn mental resilience, you learn toughness, you learn how to take rejection. You learn a lot of valuable skills doing real things in the world, not just being in a classroom all the time and, you know, being in a protected environment. Now you got to get out there in the wild, so to speak, and get punched in the face a few times, metaphorically speaking, to sort of like, I think, learn better, like real learning. So that is my little rant today. So if you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, boom, 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 share. Peace out. Have a fantastic day.